Whiskey in the glass, golf in the mind. This is Inside the Ropes, a GolfCask original, where we dive in deep into the grain, the smoke, and the stories that bring us together. Welcome to this special Inside the Ropes edition, December's release of GolfCask Magazine, Revelry Reflection. This is your host, Brian Bailie. This issue will drop today, so I figured, why wait? Let's pour you 4 standout stories straight from the pages, each one carrying the GolfCask ethos we've built together all year long. Spark, sip, swing. We've got cigars, we've got cocktails, we got golf wisdom from the best coaches in the game, and a hidden gem Irish Links course that plays far better than it charges. Plus, a bonus palate training article that makes you rethink gum forever. So settle in, light one up if the moment calls for it. Let's go inside the ropes. Let's spark one up right out the gate with My Father Cigars Blue, reflections, revelry, and the occasional questionable life choice. Take it away, Eddie.
My Father Cigars Blue, reflection, revelry, and the occasional questionable life choice. There are cigars you smoke because they're there, cigars you smoke because you're bored, and then there's My Father Cigars Blue, the kind you light up when you're ready for a moment of honest reflection, preferably while staring over the 18th green and wondering how you managed to triple bogey a par 4 again. Known for its bold Nicaraguan character and razor-sharp craftsmanship, the Blue isn't just a cigar, it's a conversation with yourself. And depending on how your round went, that conversation might start with, was it really the wind? Hint, no, it was not the wind. Pairing this cigar with a well-chosen whiskey is where the revelry kicks in. The Blue's peppery kick and rich cocoa finish practically beg for something equally expressive. Maybe a cask strength bourbon, maybe an Irish single pot still, definitely not the bottom. Shelves to your buddy swears, tastes just like Weller. Take a slow draw, sip something respectable, and suddenly your disastrous front nine feels like a poetic prologue to a triumphant back nine comeback. Or at least, that's what you'll tell the guys in the clubhouse before someone reminds you that you also flopped the back nine. But here's the truth, My Father Cigars Blue isn't about perfection, it's about presence. It's about savoring craftsmanship, good company, and the luxury of time. It's a reminder that life, like golf, is best enjoyed when you stop trying to muscle every shot and simply embrace the experience. So light up, raise a glass, and celebrate the beautiful mess of reflection and revelry. And if the cigar smoke helps hide the look of disbelief after your buddy sinks a 40-foot putt with the putting stroke of a frightened ferret, well, that's just a bonus.
If Eddie didn't convince you to rethink your entire post-round ritual, check your pulse, man. That piece had more honesty than golfers have scorecard integrity. Speaking of rituals, let's shift to something that delivers straight to your door. Discover the full world of GolfCask. Join today and get GolfCask Life Magazine delivered to your inbox. Access to members, events, early releases, and so much more. Golf, whiskey, cigars, travel. It's all waiting on you at golfcast.com. Sign up now. It's free. All right, cigars lit, whiskey in hand. Let's head somewhere with a little more humidity and a lot more chaos. We're leaving Nicaragua behind and walking straight into New Orleans, courtesy of Megan Miller, Crescent Simples.
If you were asked to name the quintessential New Orleans cocktail, you might say a hurricane. If you've spent time in the city, maybe you'd say a French 75, Sazerac, or Pim's. For me, it has to be a Vieux Carré. Vieux Carré is French for Old Square and is the French name for the French Quarter, New Orleans' most famous neighborhood and my former home. Rich, layered, and a drink I can't stop going back to, the cocktail and its namesake have a lot in common. I lived in New Orleans from 2014 to 2019. The stay was both too long and not nearly long enough. New Orleans has a way of getting into your bones, making you feel like there can't possibly be anywhere else as wonderful in the world. But she can be a fickle mistress. By my final year there, I knew the end was approaching. I had met my soon-to-be husband, another transplant, and we were quickly burning out on the city's hospitality industry while dreaming of a business we knew was going to need cheaper rent to thrive. More on that later. We decided to sign one last lease while we wrapped up loose ends, and we decided this one needed to be epic. We packed up our bags from the quiet, tree-lined streets of Uptown and moved into a historic shotgun in the French Quarter. I could write a whole book of short stories about that one year. From the day we moved in, we knew this day was going to leave a mark. Visitors for Southern decadence were crowding the streets of the quarter, and we could barely get the moving van through. Within a week, we'd caught candy from our front porch while a parade went by, gotten towed for the first of easily 20 times, cleaned someone else's bodily waste off our front steps, made fast friends with the bartenders at what would become our local spot, R.I.P. Longway Tavern, and learned the unique joy of opening our front door with a bag of trash, only to have it immediately collected from our hands by the daily street cleaners. I wouldn't trade that year for anything in the world, and every time I sip on a Vieux Carré, I relish in taking a moment to reminisce on it. So naturally, when my husband and I finally got around to starting that business we've been dreaming of, a fresh fruit and herb flavored simple syrup and cocktail mix company making high quality ingredients for home bartenders the same way we did behind the bar in New Orleans, we had to come up with our own riff using our product that could really bring the whole experience together. A typical Vieux Carré calls for about 1/3 ounce Benedictine, a pretty uncommon home bar ingredient. We swapped that out for our old-fashioned syrup, which shares some of the same tasting notes: orange, cinnamon, cardamom, and tweak the other ingredients to make a well-balanced riff. We hope you sip on this and enjoy your own memories of our old neighborhood, or maybe even dream up your next trip. Here's how to make a Crescent Vieux Carré. Add 1.5 ounce rye whiskey, 0.75 ounce cognac, 0.5 ounce sweet vermouth, 0.25 ounce Crescent Simples old-fashioned syrup, 2 dashes of Creole bitters, and 2 dashes of Angostura bitters to your stirrer. Stir with ice, then strain into a rocks glass with 1 big rock. Garnish with a lemon zest.
If that story didn't make you crave making cocktails with Crescent Simples and a questionable life decision on the French Quarter balcony, you might be beyond saving. And speaking of handcrafted flavor, experience the craftsmanship from the artisans who pour their passions into every bottle and blend, such as Lost Whiskey, J.H. Bard's, Crescent Simples, Four Corners Real Estate. Yes, they even pour with purpose. These are all great contributors to GolfCask Magazine. Make sure that you reach out and sample their craftsmanship. And don't forget to tell them GolfCask sent you. All right, let's wipe that powdered sugar off your shirt and get that jazz out of your ears. Let's get back on the fairway with someone who knows excellence isn't an accident, it's engineered. Charles Sandison Woods is up next.
It would be very easy to simply brag about client successes, but what value would that bring you, the reader? So let's consider how these two powerful constructs can shape your golf. Players. Yes, I am blessed to get to work with athletes who are competing at the highest level of the game and capable of winning professional tournaments, which they have done at all levels. It may sound obscure, but coaching TV professionals is not so much easier, but less of what you might deem an archetypal golf lesson. Yes, we have to cover and improve technical elements of their golf performance, but there is a far bigger picture when striving for high performance. And so every day and week can vary dramatically, but in my opinion must always be working towards facilitating the player's own desirable behaviors and style of playing the game. Encouraging the player to own their performances and fostering accountability, the dynamic shifts from coach-centered to player-centric, which harbors an environment from which open and honest conversations can be had. Building on from this, players feel empowered and energized, with their desires, feelings, and inner voice heard. Learning, growth, self-awareness, and improvement then become the stepping stones towards athlete mastery. By staying true to the player's DNA and supporting that journey, the coach is better equipped to help player X achieve performance targets. Coach. What does that mean for the coach? You, the coach, are willingly invited and considered a valued part of the team. Training sessions become a shared design. Adversity and successes intertwine with a balanced sense of perspective. Culminating in a most fruitful journey of revelry and reflection, we can all toast too. Use image of 2 glasses saying cheers. What can we learn from this? Whatever your level of golf, from recreational player to elite athlete, you can always stay true to yourself. Enjoying a drink with friends on the course to wiping the champagne from your eyes on the 18th green, having won that momentous tournament. The harmony and success of a coach and player must always be a healthy compromise of each other's needs, camaraderie, results, and respect. What can we do to improve from this? As the golfer, when seeking out support or help from friends, family, or professional coaching expertise, take the time to consider what would your ideal experience or outcome look like from this time together. When asking for help, give yourself permission to convey this at the outset, and then challenge or question what happens and reflect on is this regularly to ensure you and the coach stay on track. No two players or coach want the exact same outcomes, so keep communication at the forefront of your relationships. Behind every tale of revelry is the well-earned backstory of perseverance, friendship, and love.
Charles is always dropping wisdom that hits harder than a mishit 3-iron. And since we're talking performance, our Poor Decisions ranking database keeps growing. Whiskey, golf courses, pubs, distilleries. Keep those reviews coming. Help us keep the pours honest and the decisions, well, poor. Let's stay in pursuit mode, but change continents. Pack your rain gear and your humility. We're going seaside. Lorcan O'Connor is taking us to one of Ireland's most beloved little beasts. Dublin Golf's affordable hidden gem. Corballis Golf Links is a charming, century-old links course tucked along the rugged North Dublin coastline in Donabate, Ireland. With roots reaching back to 1906, the course has evolved over the years while retaining its classic links feel. Despite being relatively short, roughly 4,500 yard, par 66, Corballis is by no means easy. In 2007, course architect Ron Kirby redesigned 4 holes along the front 9, pushing the routing closer to the sea and delivering breathtaking Irish sea vistas. The course is full of strategic little challenges, elevated greens, blind tee shots across dunelands, and tight approaches that reward precision far more than brute force. It has some of the best par 3 holes that you could find anywhere in the world. One of Corballis's defining characteristics is its value. Green fees are quite affordable, around 30 to 35 euros, depending on when you play. It's run by Fingal County Council in partnership with Car Golf, which helps maintain high standards year-round. Throughout the winter, it hosts the Race to the 59 series, where low handicap amateurs and professionals can compete every Thursday for a prize fund. For travelers or local golfers, Corballis offers more than just a round. Its proximity to the sea gives you memorable scenery, and its compact, demanding layout makes it both fun and tricky. There's also a strong sense of community with flexible membership options and a year-round schedule for both members and visitors. If you're planning a trip near Dublin City, Corballis is a hidden gem, not just for the cost, but for the genuine links character, quiet beauty, and the pure joy of navigating a seaside course without the pomp and price tag of major championship courses. If Corballis doesn't make you want to book a trip, you need more wind in your life. And speaking of travel, coming in 2026, GolfCask Whiskey Golf Trails will become a reality. Spark, sip, swing, and savor. We apply every GolfCask cornerstone to our traveling video productions. More courses, more pours, more stories? Stay tuned. It's going to be exciting. Before we wrap this puppy up, here's something to chew on, literally, from the founder, Brian Bailie, a palate training trick that costs less than a golf tee. Chew on this. Wrigley's Gum as Whiskey Training Wheels by Brian Bailie, GolfCask Life Magazine, December edition. Revelry and Reflection. There's no shortage of expensive ways to train your palate. Whiskey aroma kits, sensory wheels, guided tasting with a certified steward, all fine. But here's a GolfCask secret that'll save you both money and ego. How about a $1.29 pack of Wrigley's Gum? Yup, you heard me right. Gum. The same packs your grandfather used to keep in his golf bag right next to his flask and divot tool? And the ball he swore he'd find later? That's right, because the truth is, Wrigley's Gum, Juicy Fruit, Spearmint, Double Mint, Big Red, and Wintergreen isn't just your nostalgic treat. It's a toolkit, a sensory decoding ring. Each flavor holds a key to understanding a different corner of the whiskey world. And if you chew the right one before your next pour, your palate will open up like a perfectly red-green at sunset. The origins of the chew. William Wrigley Jr. didn't start out selling gum. In 1891, he was hawking baking powder in Chicago, tossing in free sticks of chewing gum as a bonus. The gum quickly became more popular than the product it came with, proving that sometimes your bonus ends up being the real moneymaker. By 1893, Wrigley had launched Juicy Fruit and Spearmint, followed later by the Double Mint in 1914, Big Red 1975, and eventually Winter Fresh in the 90s. Each flavor was distinct, built on real sugar and natural oils long before artificial sweeteners became the bland default. Those early recipes were bold, straightforward, and memorable, just like a good whiskey. Why gum works. Here's the science. Gum delivers an intense burst of flavor in your olfactory system, the same system whiskey uses to reveal its character. Cigar smokers, you're going to love this. When you chew your gum, you activate retronasal smell, the aromas that travel up and back of your throat to your nose. That's the same pathway that we use in tasting whiskey. So when you chew gum, you're not just refreshing your breath, you're building flavor recognition. It's a crash course for your senses. Let's take a deeper look at each gum. Juicy fruit, the bourbon banana ball. If bourbon had a training flavor, it would be juicy fruit. The mysterious blend of banana, pineapple, and citrus mimics the fruity esters found in many bourbons. Those banana bread or candy notes you often pick up in Four Roses and Jack Daniels. The same compound, asomal acetate, also known as banana oil, juicy fruit teaches your brain to label sweetness correctly. Instead of saying sweet, you'll start to say banana, pineapple, or even orange peel. Next, we're going to jump over to spearmint, rye's herbal fade. Spearmint is calm, green, and softly sweet. It's also the perfect stand-in for the minty herbal tones of a rye grain, which contributes to whiskey. Have you had a chance to try a wheel horse rye or a wild turkey rare breed? Chew a stick, then nose your rye. Suddenly, that spice becomes something more refined. You'll pick out mint, dill, and even some grassy freshness. Let's jump over to my favorite Wrigley's is the double mint. Menthol in the mash. Double mint packs peppermint, and peppermint brings methanol, that crisp, cooling lift that wakes your senses. Straight ryes and high rye bourbons flash that same eucalyptus-like snap, and chewing double mint before primes your palate to catch it. Want to taste it clearly? Lost Whiskey Cask High Rye brings a bright, minty chill throughout the spice, while Catoctin Creek Cask Rye delivers a bold, peppermint-edged pop. Cool gum, cool rye, same rhythm, different stage. Now we're going to jump over to Big Red, the cinnamon sweet spot. Big Red showed up in 1975 and instantly nailed the perfect cinnamon balance, warm, spicy, sweet, but never punishing. That's exactly why it pairs so well with bourbon's spicier edge. High rye mash bills, toasted oak, and barrel char all push out natural cinnamon notes. And once you've had Big Red, those flavors leap out of every glass. Want to taste it for real? Try Elijah Craig Single Barrel for a warm, slow-building cinnamon glow, or Bullet Single Barrel for a sharper high rye cinnamon snap. It's the simplest bridge between gum and glass. Cinnamon done right. Wintergreen, the aged rye signal. Wintergreen, or Wrigley's Winterfresh, delivers that birch and root beer candy aroma. Thanks to methyl salicylate, the same subtle note that shows up in some well-aged ryes. It's delicate and often mistaken for sweet mint, which is why a quick wintergreen reset trains your nose to call it out correctly as a sign of depth and barrel time. Want to taste it? Peerless Small Batch carries a soft wintergreen sweetness throughout its rye spice, while Old Forester 1920 tucks a faint birch candy edge under its rich heat. Once you notice it, you'll catch it every time. The secret sauce is real sugar. Here's where most people go wrong. Sugar-free gums, those that coat your tongue with polyols and fake sweetness that ruin your sense of taste. The original Wrigley sticks use sugar and corn syrup. They hit hard, fade fast, and leave a clean palate. It's like practice putting on real grass instead of carpet. Authenticity always trains better. So here's the final pour. Chewing gum won't replace whiskey, but it will sharpen how you taste it. Juicy fruit tunes your palate for bourbon's fruit esters. Spearmint and double mint sharpen your recognition of rye's herbal and methanol edges. Big Red shines a light on cinnamon spice. And wintergreen, that's your secret handshake with aged ryes. So before your next pour, grab a stick, chew, spit, rinse, and nose your whiskey. You'll taste more, you'll describe better, and you'll smile knowing that the best training tool was sitting in Grandpa's bag this whole time. Pull the pin, crack the cork, and maybe unwrap a stick while you're at it. Cheers, my friends. If you ever see someone chewing Wrigley's before tasting now, you know they're one of us. And one more quick shout out before we close things down. Inside the Ropes, our weekly blog, has seen astronomical growth in 2025. Thank you for reading, sharing, and sending your time our way. We'll keep writing if you keep showing up. As we close out 2025, here's the truth. GolfCask didn't just grow, it exploded. We added Poor Decisions, On My Radar, and over 30 hours of original content to our video platform. Our community stretched across golf courses, pubs, and distilleries, where shaking hands turned into shared pours turned into stories. We met new members, welcomed old friends back, and built something that feels a little like a clubhouse and a little like a campfire. The kind of place where people return to, not because they have to, because it feels like home. 2026? Yeah, we're just getting warmed up. So here's our final toast to all of you, GolfCask Nation. Here's to Revelry Reflection in the road ahead, to good whiskey, pure links wind, cigars that burn slow, and friends who don't. To every member, every pour, every swing, and to every story shared along the way. Spark, sip, swing, and from all of us at GolfCask, cheers to the journey. Until next time, keep your heads down, your spirits high, and your glass half full. Sip, swing at GolfCask.